Next, besides knowledge, knowledge will help us overcome our fears. Next is attitude. Did you know your attitude, not your aptitude, will ultimately determine your altitude? I know that for a fact because I have no right to stand here in front of you guys on this stage. I had nothing going for me as a child, nothing growing up. But I tell you what, it's all about attitude. You've got to be a person that others want to be around. You've got to have a happy, positive, excited attitude to attract others. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to run around with a negative, dull, disillusioned, frustrated crybaby. You go, well, Presley, I'm a little bit negative. You know, I struggle with that. We all have things we've got to overcome. If you're a little bit negative, that's all right. We're going to work on it, but you need to work on the as-if principle. The as-if principle. As-if principle says, act the way you want to feel, and soon you will feel the way you act. If you're not feeling real positive, then let's act positive, because we can change and we need to adopt that as-if principle. And you know, one of the best definitions I've ever heard of a winner is this. It says most people can stay excited for a couple of months. Few people can stay excited for a couple of years. But a winner will stay excited for as long as it takes to win. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to be winners. It's amazing how powerful enthusiasm and optimism are. So knowledge will help us overcome our fears, our attitude will help us overcome our fears, and activity will help us overcome our fears. Did you know doubt will take you out of action, but action will take you out of doubt? I tell you, that's a good one. You know, activity is high priority, which means work is high priority. You know, Ben Franklin tells us the reason more people aren't successful is because success comes dressed in overalls and looks like work. We've got to work, ladies and gentlemen, if we want to accomplish what we want to accomplish here, if we want to reach our goals. Until we reach those goals, we should make rest a necessity, not an objective.
Yeah.
I think we should adopt the ant philosophy. Have you guys heard the ant philosophy? Ant philosophy, A-N-T. Ants never quit. I think that's a great philosophy. Have you noticed it doesn't matter, you can mess them up, you can spray the water hose on them, you can set something in their way. Ants are going to go around it, over it, under it. They're not going to stop though. Ants never quit. And in this business, this will be a fact, in this business there's countless people that the next person they would have talked to would have been the one that set them free financially and set their family free financially, but they quit the day before they would have had a chance to talk to that person. We want to adopt that ant philosophy and never quit. Ants also think winter all summer. They think winter all summer. All summer those ants are preparing for the winter. They're gathering. You know, the ants aren't laying out on the beach tanning their little ant bodies. They're gathering and they're preparing during the summer for that cold winter that's ahead. But I think ants are also positive thinkers. I think ants think summer all winter. I think as they're down in those little ant homes where it's dark, and you know, if it's dark down there, maybe we should talk to some ant communities about using Stream, huh? But as those ants are down in their little dark houses, I think all winter they're thinking that summer's just around the corner. I think they're thinking that that next warm, sunny day is right around the corner when they can get out there and get after it again. And finally, how much will an ant gather? All that he can. We need to remember that one, ladies and gentlemen. Ants will gather all that they can. So what should our activities be? We're not gathering for the winter. What should we do? Well, I've touched on a couple of them. But we need to hang with the right people. We need to read the books. We need to plug into the meetings. We need to set appointments, and we need to show the plan. We've got to keep the main thing the main thing. And a few daily disciplines will make a difference in your life. I'll repeat that. A few daily disciplines will make a difference in your life. So you say, what's important? Well, I think reaching the full extent of your potential is important. I think being all that you can be is important. And around here, we don't call enough an amount. We only call enough your best. And that's what we're all striving for, is our best. And we've talked about the ants. I want to talk about the trees now. How tall will an oak tree grow? As tall as it can. I've never seen an oak tree that only grew half as tall as it could. Have you? I think we need to learn from the ants and from the oak trees. What should you do? All that you can. How many books should you read? As many as you can. How hard should you work? As hard as you can. How many meetings should you attend? As many as you can. How many appointments should you set? All that you can. How many plans should you show? All that you can. How many skills should you learn? All that you can. How many people should you touch? As many as you can. Why not go to the max? Why not lead the No Fear crusade against debt and financial worries? Why not make 2010 the year of no fear? Why not set an example of no fear like my cousin Manny Carter did? And I will close with this short story. Some of you guys have heard this, but I've got a cousin named Manny Carter. Manny's my mom's brother's son. Manny's my first cousin. Manny's 15 years older than me. And as a young man, I used to watch Manny work. He would mow yards, and he would paint houses, and he would throw paper routes. And, you know, a few other kids did that, but the difference with Manny is Manny saved his money. And Manny saved up money and got to the University of Texas. Regis, you'll like that. He got to the University of Texas, and he worked his way through UT, and Manny got out of UT, and he started working for Mobil Oil Company before Mobil and Exxon merged. And you know, I watched Manny work his way up Mobil, and I watched him. He would buy a business. He would invest in things. He would buy some land. And I watched Manny as he did all that. Now today, Manny's worth a few $1 million. And you go, well, what does that have to do with us here at this? Well, I think it has a lot to do with us. You know, I used to go over to Manny's house a lot because I liked hanging out with Manny. And I'd go over there at Christmas. And it was always fun being at Manny's house at Christmas because he had a beautiful brick home and he had BMWs in the driveway. The house was always immaculately dressed out at Christmas, and there was always presents under the tree. And I'd stay there until it was just bedtime because I liked hanging with Manny as long as I could. But I remember I'd get in my car, and I'd be driving back to Dunlap, where I grew up, where there were rapes and murders, where there was drugs and violence. And I remember I'd be driving back to my home thinking, that's how I want to be. I want to be like Manny. See, Manny had the same relatives I had. He was from the same family I was from. Manny was from the same part of town that I was from. And you know what? Manny set that no fear example. He showed us that if he could do it, the rest of us could do it in our family and from our side of the tracks. Now, my question to us is this. What example are you setting? You know, I learned a long time ago, you can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. I'm going to say it's time we draw the line in the sand. I'm going to say it's time we stand in the gap. I'm going to say it's time that we set the example of no fear. And I say it's time that we show our kids and our grandkids and our nieces and nephews and a lot of people that you don't even know that are watching you. I believe with all my heart there are going to be two groups of folks in this room. There's going to be the group that overcomes their fears, and there's going to be the group that lets fears steal their dreams. I hope you're an overcomer. I say, no fear.